Hello, everyone, and welcome to Meticulous Talks on February 3rd. I am Chris, of course.
Damn Hithroc.
Good to see you again, Hithroc.
Yeah, it's only been 2 weeks.
It has only been 2 weeks. Seems like not very often anymore. We only have 2 weeks between the streams.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, uh, one quick, just before we start, one quick housekeeping sort of thing I want to make mention. If my math is correct, this is our 150th stream. Uh,
Oh,
I say that because my indexing scheme has changed a couple times over the years, so I may be like one or two off, but we're certainly around there. Based on the numbering I'm currently using, this is our 150th stream.
let's hope you're by two off. Off
That
by two.
yeah. Oh well.
Actually, no, you would need to be off by one
Up by
because
one. Yes,
17th is in 2 weeks. Yeah.
that's correct. Yes. As Hitbox intimated, next stream 2 weeks from now is going to be our annual anniversary stream. I believe it's the 7th anniversary of Meticulous Talks total, and like fifth with you.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's been a lot of years.
Um. So it's a time period of much celebration, I suppose, is what I'm trying to get by. There's a lot of cool stuff happening for these 2 weeks. I guess since we mentioned the anniversary stream, um, there's a there's a form posted up in the CCG Discord. Oh, let me just go get the link to it and put it in the chat. That plays into that. We're just asking for people's favorite cards. Nothing nefarious. And that will come into play in our stream in the next 2 weeks somehow.
Yeah.
I will say we've had some great responses so far. I think there'll be something to see for sure. 2 weeks on.
Yeah, I'm looking forward.
Regardless, though, today we're here to talk about Vancouver, the con that happened there. What, 4 weeks ago now? 3 weeks ago?
3 weeks ago? Yeah.
3 weeks ago. Yeah. We didn't do the stream right after it because we wanted to talk about the core thing. And so, yeah, just kind of put it off a little bit. But Vancouver was it was a great con, right?
It was a really good time.
I had a lot of fun. Yeah.
My favorite was the free ties in the round one.
That was something else. Yes. As we said, Harmony is a very balanced format. Apparently.
Well, that was cube, but sure.
Oh, correct. That was the cube one. Yes, the cube is well balanced. Shoot.
I mean, you can trust pages on that.
Yeah. Or at least it's balanced when no one goes for yellow.
That's true. We don't know. Maybe yellow has some hidden strength, if you will.
Yes. Yeah, that was. I don't know. Like, you'd think someone goes for yellow always, but yeah.
I mean, maybe I would go for yellow if I didn't get Minuet and Old Money together.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Then, like, the rest of the deck kind of built itself after that.
Trying to remember. I know I got something too, and like my first couple picks was like, oh, guess I'm playing orange blue now. I don't remember what it was. It was the big card though.
I think Minuet and Old Money is completely 100% fair. And that is proven by the fact that I have a tie in my game, so. If it was so good, I would win every time, right? That's how it works.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So Cube was very fun. I guess I'll mention. Yeah, three main events: VPE, Cube, Harmony, and the designer card panel. We'll get to the designer card panel at the end. Cube was a ton of fun, always is. Much thanks to Pages for building and maintaining and running those events. But our primary focus, I guess, for the stream is the Harmony tournament. VPE is often a bulwark, a bastion of Harmony play. Nice, you still see it in like Ciderfest and such, but it's been traditionally a Harmony event, and such proved to be the case this year as well. We had 8 participants. I thought there would be more. I was wrong about that.
I won $5.
Did.
I mean, I was hoping you would be right.
Right.
So for me, it was a win-win situation, right? I either get $5 or you were right, which is also good.
Yeah. I was on the wrong side of history. But yeah, we saw some pretty interesting, pretty varied results. Some of the decks are pretty, I guess, traditional, if you will. Some of them are also common in other formats. I guess the Songmill deck kind of migrates over from Adventure. Was where it started. Every CCG player in attendance participates. I believe that's right. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think anyone was out. So.
Yeah.
So I guess, per usual, we have 8 participants, which is a perfect number for us to get through everybody. And we'll start with Max. So I had the benefit, actually, of helping Max, well, kind of, sort of, build this one. I arrived in Vancouver like a week early and played a couple of practice games against him. The concept of using Bubbly Mare with playtimes over, obviously, Max wasn't the only person who brought that to this con, so not exactly, it's a relatively straightforward thing to see. This deck goes in a more farming-oriented direction. I need to look at what Minty's deck again actually was to make sure I'm being careful with this. But they are both farm decks. I think Minty's deck is more control-oriented than Max's was. Or slower, I guess I should say.
I guess. Like, I don't know, Minty's deck has Birds of a Feather. That seems pretty fast.
It can be, yes. It is expensive to play, and you are playing it. There's no Pony of Shadows in here.
Yeah, and there's other stuff here too. Anyway,
yes, we'll get to that, I suppose.
yeah, Bubbly Mare seems like a natural choice to play, especially after Everfree Harmony, which was like oops all combo.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody knows that Cheese is gonna play Pile, so
yeah,
you don't have to think about meta too hard there.
Pretty much, yeah. Pile in its current format, I mean, yeah, it is event is how it works. So that doesn't work if your Bubbly Mare is flipped.
Yeah.
In its old style, where it was DJ, it actually still work. But
yeah, because it was abilities.
Yeah.
It was not actually playing cards. But nobody runs that kind of pile anymore. And by nobody, I mean Cheese doesn't run it, so.
Well, like, to be honest, I was expecting a little bit more than just these. I mean, I guess there are other interesting decks for the Pile crowd to play. I was half expecting I know GP is here in the audience. I was half expecting him to play Pile. But the song deck
GP
was
and Pile is, I don't want to play with you anymore, while holding a mill deck in his hands.
interesting. I see.
But yeah, this is an interesting deck. This is the I like the decks that run Nova every time.
Yeah.
Although here it seems a little. Sometimes you have a lot of power because of Raptor Razor, and you actually don't
hmm
want Nova to be involved.
Yeah. Well, that's what Defend the Hive is for.
That's true.
You get to decide at the last minute if you want Nova to be involved or not.
But the worst scenario is when you are losing the face-off by one.
Right. Yeah. Nothing you can do about that.
Then Nova does nothing. Unfortunate.
You better hope that the troublemaker is Trixie then. Then you're good.
Yeah, that's true actually.
Small thing. Small thing. Because I think, yeah, well, if I remember correctly, my advice to Max was to just run like the flash beat combo thing that I did. That in Harmony, I think it was.
Yes, you play that in Harmony.
Yeah, just with Polymare instead. So that's where that went in. That's where the Novo and the Raptor. Well, I think the Raptor was already in, but like, yeah. I think it's a cool concept. It is. So like having played against it and actually, with my Cadence deck, um, on stream, which was a wonderful game, by the way. Probably one of my most fun in a long time. I was a bit surprised at how little Cadence cared, actually, about Bloody Mary being flipped. Like, obviously, your main's useless, and a lot of your cards aren't as good, but you can still do things. And was still able to. I mean, I guess a lot of it depends on how good your start is. If you have a bad start, you might just be out of luck.
I think Bubbly Mare is not as a combo killer as she used to be, because I played combo in this tournament, and I didn't care about Bubbly Mare's effect like for the entire game right until I need to combo off, right?
Right.
And if I have absolutely anything to stop Bubbly Mare from working, that's it, I win, right? And like in my deck, that was Melted Expectations.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, you just disable her ability, and that's it. That's it. No more Bubbly Mare. Before, the only tool you had is like Tempest Shadow, like to flip her to the start side,
Mm-hmm.
and backup vocals, but that's too expensive.
That's correct. Yes. Well,
So I think there's like more if you tech against it.
yeah.
I think Bubbly Mare
Limestone
is not.
works too, right? Because she takes away boosted sides.
Yes,
Yeah.
but she's also like very expensive and disruptible.
True.
Like they can just remove Limestone. Although I think Limestone keeps working if you remove her, so maybe not. But they can remove before you activate the ability. Either way, I think it's easier to deal with Bubbly Mare now in Harmony anyway, because there's more tools for that. And for a combo deck, like you really don't care until you have to go off.
Right. Yeah. And yeah. In your case, yeah, just a small little drop into orange
Yeah.
for a card that's only it's an easy sideboard if you're not playing against Valdemar. Yeah, makes sense.
I mean, it's still a good control tool. Like Melted Expectations is really good. You sometimes keep it, even if you're not playing against Bubbly Mare. It depends on what kind of colors you run, but
Yeah,
it's a versatile card.
it is. No shade. No shade on it. So yeah, I guess kind of in closing, I think it's a little tragic. Max didn't get any wins. Cool deck.
Yeah.
Probably should have gotten a few at least. And I mean, he almost did against me. So
I don't remember my match versus Max. I remember we played, and that's it.
Hmm.
That's all I remember.
I do remember that. I guess, and I commented on this during the stream. I sideboarded out one of my Angel Wings, and I remember saying I'm pretty sure this card has never been sideboarded like ever. This is the first time ever.
Yeah, she doesn't really do anything against Bubbly Mare.
Yeah, like so it's. I didn't want to get rid of them all because like if they're in your opening hand, they're still amazing. But then yeah, after like turn 3 or whatever, they're completely useless.
But if you sideboard like all but one of them, then the chance you're gonna get one in your opening hand is just a slim,
Yeah.
slim
Yeah,
chance. Like
that's why I only sideboarded one of them.
uh, all right.
Yeah. All right. Next up is all right, Arcat.
This is
Playing
just core
right. All right.
yellow deck.
Yes. In the same boat as me. Just playing a core deck.
Not Thorax though. It's a kindness can be deck. Nice.
Yes. Or well, yes. Yes, that's right. And it's gonna be that way. Yeah.
Yeah. Like it doesn't do bird of a feather stuff on down to one.
Actually, wait, no, sorry. This isn't a core deck. It has day shift in it. What are we?
Oh, that's true.
Yes.
It's a deceptive card.
Somewhat. Yes.
It looks like a core card, but
Looks like it should be. Exactly. Which yeah, I remember when day shift was in, wasn't this kind of a thing?
I
This
think
is
blue yellow was a thing, right?
oh, blue yellow was the main way. Yeah, that's true. I thought, well, obviously mono yellow played it because every yellow deck played it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, there is Antoine. I missed him. There he is. 2 copies though.
Mm-hmm. So now that I'm looking at it, yeah, you have a fairly good supply of critters.
I mean, yeah. A bunch of your stuff is critters, and there's some events. Oh, Industrial Revolution is also
Industrial
an adventure
Revolution.
card.
Yeah. Oh, right. That's an adventure card. True. Yeah. It's so hard to tell these days. It used to be that if it had the like weird Premier Block style background, you knew it was a
Yeah,
Harmony deck.
it was like a clear cut.
Hmm. That's what Sim needs to do. They need to like just completely redo the templates whenever there's a new block.
I'll go ahead and tell Ara that. How many hissings do I receive?
Yeah. Also 51 cards. A strange number. So.
I guess you really didn't want to cut anything.
Well, yeah. Nicely
I don't
tuned.
know. I would cut Delivery Mare.
Well, one. Oh, sorry. Entirely or just one copy?
1 copy at least, yeah.
Hmm.
If you're at 51 cards.
It can be a strong card. With let me see. Like this is a really easy problem deck, right? Yes.
Yeah. But yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Yellow deck.
this is it's a yellow deck that really commits to just going all in on aggro. Kind of a showcase of how ridiculous this can be if you really just go for it.
Yeah. And everything is cheap.
Yeah. And yellow.
It feels like the pink deck that Ara usually plays, except yellow.
Except yellow, kind of like it, yeah. There's even like a between unsatisfactory work and scary story now. It's like a respectable enough amount of disruption now.
Yeah, like you replaced Party Mare with Delivery Mare. You replaced Pipsqueak with Featherweight.
Yeah, kind of.
It's just
Yeah, and yeah, Yona as well. Also disruptive. Very true.
Yeah, Yona kills certain decks.
Mhm.
I don't think this particular tournament had a lot of decks that Yona kills, though. I think Pages ran Reanimator, right? So that's
Yes,
one.
that's
So I think the
the
rest of them are
main
kind
one.
of don't really care. But that's why we have sideboards.
Yeah, that's hmm, something I kind of want to think about now that you bring that up. So Yona is 3 or more power.
Yeah.
Like,
Combo decks don't care.
yeah, no, combo decks don't care.
Mill deck, I think, doesn't care. Like most of the stuff there is 2 power.
Right.
Some of the stuff is 3 power.
In the world where Magic Instructor wasn't banned, you have that. But if Magic Instructor is on the field, you have almost already lost, especially if it's lasted a turn.
Then we have Pile doesn't care, obviously.
Most farm decks
Uh,
in Harmony aren't going to care.
so yeah, Bubbly Mare decks don't really care. Minty's deck has Birds of a Feather, so that's that.
Hmm.
But otherwise, your deck is mostly doesn't care. I
Yeah,
mean, it's
all
Loyal
the
Sea Pony is a little sad, but otherwise,
well, yeah, I mean, yeah, almost all the stuff that would get bounced in blue, you want to get back in your hand. So
yeah, I think it's just Pages. But yeah, good sideboard card
mhm.
because versus Reanimator, Yona is really really good.
Yep, it's kind of the card you need. Uh, shall we actually mention or
Yep,
come to Reanimator then?
yep,
Pages is I was gonna say so changing infiltrator or sorry, ugh, got that on my main head. Changing pretender is a card you always got to be on the watch for in Harmony. Always, let's see, in this tournament, actually not bad. It comes up against Bubbly Mary, you're having some fun. Or by which I mean nobody's having fun.
I mean, copying Student Six is pretty good for Changeling Pretender.
Yeah.
But the problem with Student Six, of course, is that your opponent can just choose to not flip
Hmm.
until they see that like flipping doesn't actually give you anything. Which is what happened in my game. I was just, I'm not gonna flip. I don't.
I see. Yeah, I think it was mentioned because I believe Pages and Minty ended up playing in the first round, if I'm not mistaken, and it was mentioned that the play is actually for the Bubbly Mare player to use a backup vocals to flip the Changeling Pretender to copy Bubbly Mare's start side.
Yeah,
Yeah, which
that's
makes
hard to
sense.
do.
It requires a deep commitment to going to time, probably. Yeah. Anyway, um, this is Reanimator. All the usual bells and whistles.
Is Coriander new here?
Coriander has not been traditionally a Reanimator card. That's correct. Had a bit of a renaissance lately.
Is this like a combo tech? Like why is Coriander here as a single copy of all things?
Hmm. I mean that. Yes. Okay. He says it. Yes. Anti-combo trick.
Yeah, okay. That's what I figured. But
Hmm.
yeah, but otherwise it's mostly the same.
Uh.
It's big stuff, royal family.
Yeah. My family. Cluj Town. What does Discord Pile do? Oh, right. It's just a royal family. Is all it is, really.
Yeah.
It's from Discord.
From
Discard
just from
file.
Discord file, yes.
Mm-hmm. Remains potent as like Reanimator has remained potent basically ever since the Tricorns entered into the game. Well, enough of them at least.
It especially became a thing like in Friends Forever and After because
Yeah,
of the why.
yeah. Well,
Before that, not
yeah,
really.
yeah. Like yeah, before that it was just Luna. I just like was sad for a second there.
Yeah,
Um,
I
and
could
and
hear the
and
sadness.
yeah, and then Friends Forever gave us both Cadence and Twilight, of course, both huge cards. Cadence in her time,
Yeah.
Twilight still today.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Cadence.
Hmm.
I wonder why people don't play her anymore. I wonder. Was
Yeah,
a good card.
was a wonderful card. At least with Royal Family existing, Cadence is still in
Yeah.
after a manner of speaking. Uh, Next deck.
Yeah.
It's your deck.
It's my deck. Have I played? We didn't play, right?
We did not play.
Okay.
So, well, yeah. So, like, we had that conversation before the con, right?
Yeah.
And it only struck me afterwards that like I had said, "Oh, this is a combo deck," and you just let me off without making me actually describe how you won with it. And it took me a little while to be like, "Wait a second, how do you win with this?" Um,
How do I win?
I did
Well,
figure it
you
out.
said it's a fire than ready combo, so I assumed you know.
Yeah. Well,
But I guess there's more than one way of doing that.
there is, yes. It like I had to squint and look a little bit further to find because there's Mistmain and there's problem
Hmm.
cycling, right? And like obviously in retrospect it's obvious, but there's still that missing link of like, well, where's your AT coming from? Just need to find that one card that says gain an AT on it.
Yes, and that card is not in the draw deck. Uh, so would you like to describe the combo?
Okay. Let me try. So you need to get a fire when ready in play. You can do that with Discord. Right? And then you need
Well, it depends on what you do you mean by in play.
well, I mean in oh that's right, I apologize. That's right. You need to get in play as a dilemma. That's
Correct.
true. Yeah. So you put
Otherwise,
it
it does not work.
that's correct. You need to put it on top of your problem deck. Discord can do that. And then or wait a second, no. Yeah. On top of your problem deck, not in play. That's right. And then Silverstein puts it in play as a dilemma. Yes. Then you put Joe there to prevent it from replacing itself.
Hmm.
And then yes, it's Cloud Chaser and Flitter and Fleetfoot combine for an infinite move cycle. Right. Yes.
Hmm.
Which allows you to, yeah, you can keep on moving stuff to fire when ready whenever you want. Well, as much as you want, and that allows you to cycle through your entire problem deck as many times as you want. And since there's a
Yeah.
problem in there that gains you an AT, you have infinite AT.
Yeah.
And then
And also draw my entire deck.
yeah, and then yeah, Miss Main to win.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, the idea is that Fire and Ready replaces everything when something enters play there or is moved there, which is supposed to be like a problem that never really stays in play, but Joe thankfully helps us keep it around for a little longer. And then it's just infinite movement. This deck has actually changed from its original inception, I guess, is what you would call it. Obviously, there's Fleetfoot now in Discord, so that like Discord just solved a lot of problems for this deck. Before you had to play the small silver stream and like other effects that like you look at the top card of your problem deck, you dig for fine and ready.
Mhm.
And if you like dig for it real early and somebody does a double face off and like gets rid of it, it's like it resets your entire progress, which is a little sad. Which is why I ran 2 copies of fine and ready. But now Discord just like trivializes this. You just play him and you have fire and ready. That's why I only run 1 copy now because it really doesn't matter. And even if I play him a little early and they replace it, if I have another one, that's still fine, right?
Right. Or
Because I can just find Fire and Ready again and put it on the top.
right. So that means that like what an opponent needs to do is put the fire when ready into play on your problem deck and stop it from leaving play.
Yeah, but I can easily replace it myself, right?
But
Just move it
what if they have a
away.
chill?
Oh, the
Then you
mirror
just
match that everybody wanted.
yeah, well, you have enough removal in here that it doesn't matter.
I mean, if in the mirror match, this is actually hilarious because you want your opponent's Fire and Ready to be in play, and then you play Joe, and then you do the combo of that Fire and Ready because it will keep
Oh,
replacing
yeah.
your problem.
Yeah, good point. I
This is
think
what we should be doing for round one.
that's my idea exactly. maybe next year.
Yeah, but yeah,
Spoilers, that's not our anniversary stream this year.
no. But yeah, it's a fun deck. Melted Expectations is here for Bubbly Mare. There's plenty of removal. Bats is a great protection because all the combo is friend based, except the problem, but you can't really protect problems
Mhm.
other than Joe, which is a friend. And once the combo actually starts happening, there's no way to interrupt it because it's all triggers.
Mhm.
So it needs to be interrupted before. So Bats is actually a really good protection tool. There's nothing you can do once I play Bats. But of course, this is kind of a janky combo. It requires a lot of AT. I think it's like 11 to go off, and a lot of colors as well.
Right. It's not true there's nothing you can do once you play bats. You need to take away Joe's abilities.
Sure,
Yeah.
orange can do a thing. Yes,
Yes.
I don't think there's anything that protects against that except EA.
Right. Oh yeah. EA would do that. Yeah.
Yeah, EA is just literally your opponent cannot do anything unless they have a trigger or replacement modifier,
Mhm.
which is proactive usually. It would be cool. It's kind of a discussion we had during Vancouver with Cheese. It would be cool to have a secret replacement modifier, like not like trap cards or anything, but kind of a replacement modifier that you can play, when it happens. Kind of like a reaction,
Hmm.
except a replacement modifier. And that way you can implement like counter spells and stuff.
Right.
But like it's just more generic. You can do whatever with that. But it's really hard to word that. And it has to be like its own card type or something. But it would be really cool. Anyway, that's the tangent for the day. We can move on to the next deck.
Yeah. And yeah. Well, now you've got me thinking. Anyway, yeah. Next deck. Next deck is me. Um. Just like no, actually no. You said, or I did bring a Harmony deck. I was the guy who didn't get the memo.
Yeah.
And just brought a core deck. There are no excuses. I don't believe there are any excuses. I didn't even put the problem in. Not only am I uncreative, I'm also a coward.
When you have a deck already built, and
Yeah,
if it's good enough, no, it's fine.
that's true. I'm just lazy. That's the correct thing to say. Yeah, you are obviously already know this story. I said everyone else at the con. This is just the deck I brought to HithCon. The con snuck up on me, and I hadn't taken any of my decks apart. It was like, I like thought for a moment, let's build a deck, and then I looked at the cards, like, whatever, I'll just bring this one.
And it worked well enough.
It worked. Still fun. Still had a blast to play. I will say, like, let me see. I played Max. I played Minty. It was 4 rounds, right? I played Aura.
Yeah.
Who was the other person I played? Was it GP? Might have been GP. It was GP. Yes. They were all fun games. Some of them I got to play cards. Some of them I didn't. But like, whatever. That's what happens in Harmony. Yeah, the general gist of it, the deck still works just fine. It has a bunch of different ways that it can win. You know, playing Party Mare early is still wonderful, no matter what you're doing.
Yeah.
Swinging Wonders is great when played on a singleton, as even if it's your only card per turn, still wonderful, especially when there are troublemakers out. Yeah, it's just good, clean fun. That's what everyone says about Blue Pink, right?
Yeah. So, could you have just taken out Cadence and put in Bluna?
Yeah.
Would that work? I
The
mean, I guess you would want a little more hasty cards.
yeah, you would want a little bit more hasty cards. You would want to switch. You would want to start with Train Traditions instead of Buckball.
Yeah.
Or wait, I don't have Buckball in here. Was my starter problem? Was it just concerning? Oh wait, did I seriously not? I thought. Oh, this might be the wrong list. I think I did start Buckball instead. Oh.
Oh no.
Yeah, because like this is my invitationals list. I think I started Buckball instead of Concerning Cutie Mark. Whoopsies. Sorry, Ara. Yeah.
Illegal deck disqualified. Well, illegal deck list.
Well, yeah.
Well, legal deck list, but invalid deck actually.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. So what happens when you have 2 deck lists that are only different by like 1 problem, and yeah. Anyway, but yes, in the Bluna scenario, you swap it out for Trading Traditions. You put a couple more hasty cards in.
But I think largely the deck would not
Broadly
change
the
very
same,
much.
I think. Yeah. Broadly the same.
Which is interesting.
Blue Pink has always had a strong backbone to it. It's these 2 cards, Angel Wings and Spitfire.
What was our assessment on the blue pink after the rotation?
It wouldn't be nearly as good, I don't think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, mostly because of blue. I think pink is fine actually.
Yep.
But
Yeah, blue loses so much.
Well, maybe it'll gain just as much.
That remains to be seen.
Okay.
Okay. Minty. Right. We talked about deck earlier.
What were the tasting notes for this deck, GP? Because this deck was built by the tasting notes.
That's right. Hints of
Combo, I remember
Hints
that
of
much,
combo, that's right.
which is represented here as Flash B.
Yes. Makes sense. Did it have like a is it an aftertaste or something? I don't know. Yeah. For those not in the know. Yeah. As Hithroc said. Tasting notes provided.
And the
Yes.
bewilderment, confusion, notes of anger on the finish, hints of combo.
Yes. which that's fairly accurate actually. It's what? It's just 2 cards, right? Flash B and Raptor Razor. So I would call that hints of, yes.
Sure, yeah. What is bewilderment?
Bewilderment.
Is it bubbly mare?
Well, either bewilderment or confusion, probably. It could go either way on that one.
No, the confusion part is yellow farming deck, farm-ish deck
Oh, okay.
in Harmony.
Sure. All right. So then, yes.
And control, like yellow control in Harmony as well. That's confusion right there.
Okay. That's fair. So then bewilderment must be Olimare, yes. That makes sense.
Okay.
And Notes of Anger on the finish, well, that's just it being a control deck, I assume.
Yes.
That's certainly how I felt. Not angry, but notes of anger, yes. Like I was, having practiced against Max's deck, I was actually fairly confident going into this match because I figured, Cadence did okay there. But there were no friends on the other side. That was a problem because that's being able to play Gallus and Silverstream on your opponent's turn against Holy Mare is pretty important. I have found there was nothing to frighten or dismiss. Very sad. Even though there are plenty of friends in here, and he just didn't draw them, or didn't feel like playing them. Also possible.
Makes sense. Yeah, it turns out a good deck.
Yep, and these are all normal cards to see in yellow decks. Just all on the well, Pack of Bocals is only normal because of Bubbly Mare.
Yeah.
But missing the powerhouse aggro cards, with the exception of Fluttershy, as mentioned. But yeah, this all works for farm. Critter Cavalry, still a good farm card. Between Unsat, Terrified Scream, and Scary Story, we have all the yellow Friend Disruption. And Terrified Scream is
Scuffle.
Yeah. Oh, Scuffle as well. Yes, single Scuffle as well. Actually, lots of resource removal. Well, between Beavers and Lemon Hearts.
Yeah. Also, a bunch of combo disruption beyond Bubbly Mare. You have the Starlight Troublemaker, which can be really unfortunate for your neighboring combo deck, and Yellow Parasprite, which is extremely annoying. I assume this deck runs Yellow Parasprite because it's yellow and it's a yellow deck, right? That's the only reason.
Oh yeah, gotta match color.
But yeah, Yellow Parasprite is really, really annoying when you're trying to hold on to your combo. Oof. I think this deck should have 3 Parasprites in it. I don't know instead of what though.
Yeah, that's tough.
51 cards. That's the answer.
Maybe 51 cards.
51 cards is a tech against Mill, so.
That's true. That actually makes sense. Gotta have more cards in your deck for that Mill deck these days. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know how much there is to say about the next two.
There's more than one word.
Probably. Has Pile changed at all since last time we looked at it?
It looks largely the same.
Well, so wait, when was the last Harmony tournament? Because that Silverstream might be new if Prize Wheel 2 hadn't come out at that point.
Oh no, Everfree.
Okay. Yeah.
But I think Ciderfest had Harmony too.
Right. Right.
I think. I'm not sure. My memory is not good.
So I'll point out I mentioned this in the TIA post that I made after Vancouver. It's kind of an interesting tidbit to arise out of the statistics. That right now, in Harmony, Pile, Twilight Farm, and Hot Wings all have about the same win rate. They're all like right next to each other in the archive, and they all have like 30 games at least. So it's I don't know if there's any insight to draw from that. It's just a really struck me as a really interesting historical fact. Those three, what we would call age-old Harmony decks are all seem to be all in the same neighborhood.
So I looked at the Cheeses deck at Cyberfest, and there are a few changes.
Okay,
The first change is there's no more DJ Pwn Freeze,
sure,
the classic ones,
yeah,
and they were replaced with buckets.
okay,
There was also a couple of numbers changes. Used to run 3 Snips and Snails, now is just 1, and instead this runs something. Surprise party notes? I thought it ran that before though. And I know this one.
sure.
Also used to run Wonderbolt Trap, and not anymore.
Right, it did used to run Wonderbolt's Trap. I remember that.
So there's actually a few changes here, but I think largely not much.
I mean, Pile is still Pile. Yeah.
Yeah. Although you say that, and at the same time, this is like
Right.
we just got the key card of Pile from like 5 years ago.
That's right. Say that, and this deck is now become extremely different from the original Pile that broke onto the scene.
Yeah. But this is definitely an iteration of Pile V2, as I would call it.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Sure. And Grandpa's playing the Harmony version of the Songmill deck.
I think there was only one card added, and that's Gyro. And that's it.
Yeah. But what was cut for it? Just some numbers here and there.
Probably duplicates.
Duplicates. But sure. Or wait. You mean as in copies? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, with Gyro, you need fewer events.
Right. That makes sense. Yeah. I think there were probably 3 friend you needs in the core in the adventure version, and 3 Luna's features probably. Maybe 3 corianders. I don't know.
What did you do, GP? You gave me a win condition, and now this is what happened.
I mean, yeah. If I remember correctly, that had come up. Mill was so. It was always a thing that people wanted to do, but then now all of a sudden, oh, you can actually win the game with it, and suddenly it's the best thing ever. Well, maybe not the best thing ever. Pretty good.
Yeah, it was always not relevant. And any mill effect that existed in the game before was not relevant.
Mm-hmm.
But it is only an advantage. Like, it's all of the songs and all of the other stuff. We have some mill tools in the newer sets, but they're not as powerful, I would say, right? They mill like a few cards at a time, not 6 cards, and then you replay that event again for 6 more cards.
Yeah, 6 is a lot. That's more than 45.
That's not more than 45
No,
cards.
no, no. I was just doing the math. 45 cards. 5 is, what is that? That's a ninth. 11 point, whatever. It's
It's about 10% of the deck.
about 10% of the deck. Yes.
It's more than 10%, but yeah.
6 is definitely more than 10%.
15?
Yeah. Anyway, now suddenly I understand why. Yeah, you really can't do math when you're on stream. Interesting.
Yeah, so clearly next Harmony tournament and adventure, I'm running a 100-card deck.
I mean, like, yeah.
I've got a lot of practice shuffling huge decks by playing Clank Legacy.
Fair point. Fair point. Yeah.
That the at the end of the game, the adventure deck is like 150 cards.
I remember looking at that. Yeah, in the TTS version that we played.
Yeah,
Being,
TTS really helps you with that because it's just one button. IRL, it's a nightmare.
but like, yeah, if you can come up with something, what is like remotely reliable with 100 cards?
You would need something that has a lot of good stuff, like in colors,
Yeah.
right? And you just put all of it there. So you don't really care which exact, like you don't build around any key idea. I think.
Yeah. You just play like you just put an aggro deck and a control deck together and play Student 6 as your main, and then pick your colors based on whatever your opening draw was.
No, just put the best cards in the game and play Student 6.
Yeah, absolutely. There are no problems with this plan.
No. But I'm sure it's possible. I kind of want to do it. What I don't want to do is put GP for assembling a 100-card deck.
Fair point. Fair point.
Maybe in an online tournament at some point.
Right. Speaking of which, when does that start? Does the core tournament start like?
You mean Coco?
Yeah.
It's at the end of this weekend is the deadline.
The end of this weekend. So I'll say I do intend to enter this one. I just need to get around to building the deck for it. Who'd have thought? Some things never change.
Yeah. I mean, same, but also not sure if I'll have the actual time to actually play out the matches. I'll have to be figuring out that over the weekend. Theoretically, it's infinite. Yeah, but 100 feels like a good number. Also, again, you're limited by how much you can shuffle. Unless you build a shuffling machine. Is it legal to use a shuffling machine in a tournament?
I'm actually not sure. I mean, I guess so long as the judge can verify it's a fair shuffle.
Yeah. Oh, he meant theoretically it's infinite for how much cards this deck can mill. I mean, sure. Unless my deck has tools that remove your tools. If we had like enough. Yeah, no, you don't play Student 6. You play Royal Tutor. Duh. You just find anything you need. It doesn't matter how big your deck
just
is.
every unicorn in existence, and then
Yes.
yeah.
The only problem is that you need Gyro to be a unicorn. Then it would actually be good because you could find.
How many
events
things would be better if Gyro was a unicorn?
We need to reprint Gyro as a Trixie card.
Yeah. I mean, anything's possible, right?
Yeah.
Guess we have our idea for the next creator card.
Oh, I have plenty of ideas.
I'm sure you do. So that's going to be our segue, I think, unless you had anything else you want to say about this.
GP says that event search on a unicorn is not possible. I'm pretty sure it is. You just make a card, put a unicorn trait on it, and then put the Gyrus text on it. There, I just did it. Duh. But yeah, I have nothing else to say.
Okay. So yeah, we did have a create a card panel at the con. You and I were both there.
Yeah, I I remember being betrayed,
I
stabbed right in the back.
that's true. I do apologize for that. I let my senses get the best of me, and forgot that I could vote for more than one thing as well. There's one less Trixie card in the world than there should have been.
Thank you.
However, we do now have a problem. No, a second problem in Prize Wheel 3, because there was another problem in there already. Let's quickly throw that up. You had some concerns about this one when we finalized it. You still have concerns about it, or
I mean, we will find out, I guess, right?
right?
Yeah, well, Prize will still technically not released, and that's what I think Koku is for, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, the concern was that. Let me read the text again. I forgot. Yes. That maybe it should not be limited. Should be limited to like non-token friends.
Mhm.
So yellow doesn't just get
Many
bunch of
tokens.
critters. Yeah.
Yes.
And like you cannot remove stuff. But I mean, at the same time, it's a problem. Problems are fine to have high power level on, so it's probably fine.
Yep. Yeah. It is a very good control oriented. Well, okay. I don't want to say very good per se. Haven't been tested yet. My instinct says. I mean, these are good numbers for control. We want yellow control to exist, I guess. Well, I do. Thing that, as we said, yellow's losing like so many aggro tools. It's time to pivot to yellow control because that's worked in the past.
I would. Well, I mean, look at this Harmony tournament.
You know, that's true. That's
We
true.
just need bet time, but better.
I mean, honestly, and you know what? You know what this problem can do? It can protect your bedtime.
Yeah. Oh, I want to play a bet time deck now. I really like this about yellow white is that it could go like an adventure anyway, and before core rotated, you could play yellow white both as a control color and colors and aggro.
Mm-hmm.
Because they had a bunch of control tools, bedtime and other like white and yellow stuff, and aggro too, like Creator Choir is
Right.
yellow white.
Yeah, just Octavia Yellow was always very good. Yeah. I will address the couch in the room and say this was almost a troublemaker.
What do you think it would do?
As a troublemaker.
Yeah. We're creating a card on
Creating
the
the couch troublemaker on the fly.
Maybe
I
it would
would
have the same
say
effect.
somewhat similar. Like so the given the flavor text that are provided for it, right? As a troublemaker, you need to have it'd be similar to what was the Jet Set Number Coster or something that like you can't challenge it with a single character. You need like some kind of twist on that, right? You need like at least 2 or 3 characters here to challenge it.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I was thinking of like if we did not have Storm King, I think Storm King's ability would be perfect for a couch troublemaker. You cannot move away unless you pay 2. Or
Yeah.
I think Storm King is 2 or from, which is still fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, instead we have this problem.
which I think it's going to be fine. I think it is a good number to put more control problems into core is probably a good thing in general. Core's confront requirements are fairly low.
Players lose their home area. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh
Which I mean,
you'll
actually,
you'll need to fix a lot of rules for that to actually work.
well, so like legitimately, if there was like an eviction event that was just like, you know, players move all their stuff out of their home, that's actually kind of interesting.
Sure.
Yeah, just a thought.
That has fewer rule implications than actually removing their home area. Removing their home area is like, oh, now anything that says sent to home doesn't really work.
Yeah.
Or like a lot of the game rules rely on the fact that the home area is there. It's just an assumption that is being made often.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It would be a really good farm card.
It would be a really good farm card, actually. Yeah.
We need a main character that, like, when you flip it, you don't have a home area anymore. That would be really cool.
So all your stuff at home would just get dismissed by the game. Right.
No, it would be sent somewhere. So again, rules assume that you have a home area. So when an area ceases to exist, I think all of your stuff goes home,
Right.
like in Dilemma's example. But here, like, the rules would need to be changed so something else happens. But sure, it could be dismissed. But I think it should be sent to
Right.
other areas.
I mean, okay,
But
yeah.
the
To be
point
consistent.
is that you don't have home anymore. So like your stuff stays when problems are replaced, or you lose to a troublemaker, and so on.
So, like, in order to keep that remotely balanced, I think there would need to be some amount of, like, if a thing would be sent home, dismiss it instead. Obviously not that necessarily, because that would be terrible. But, like, if you can just keep all your stuff, like, you know, all your friends turn into delivery mares, that's amazing for aggro.
Sure, that would be a really interesting main character.
It could be kind of cool.
Well,
Yeah.
we need more wacky main characters that do some
We do need more wacky main characters. I totally agree.
really weird stuff. Like Bubbly Mare. Bubbly Mare is a really unique main character. No home, no resources. That's a good point. You cannot play resources that say play to your home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wow. See, that's your balance thing. You cannot play stick, for example.
Good point. Yeah. But, yeah, what happens to resources that are in areas that cease to exist?
Who knows?
Nothing at the moment. Okay, fair enough. You would get rid of them then.
But you can definitely not play any more of those.
Yeah.
If your home area ceases to exist.
Yeah, it's starting to sound kind of cool.
Yeah. Okay, more wacky main characters, please, with some weird effects.
We'll see. Grandpa's has been making cryptic comments about numbers in the Discord.
Nobody knows what those numbers mean.
The numbers, GP. What do they mean? Anyway, yeah, I think that probably we didn't talk about this card much, but
We'll get to talk about it when
yeah,
Pedro releases.
yeah, for sure. Which will be sometime soonish. Yeah, I think that about brings us to a close for this stream. As I mentioned, next stream, 2 weeks from now, February 17th, will be the anniversary stream. You'll get to find out what all those submitted cards are going to mean.
Yep.
And then, yeah, we're probably going to have prize wheel release to talk about. And yeah, I mean, there's lots of stuff to talk about, take us into the future.
Yeah. BabsCon is coming up.
Gee, it is, isn't it?
It's end of March, start of April, so it's still a while. 2 months.
2 months. Well, that'll be here before you know it. especially once like Coco will finish and it'll be like, oh my god, there's only 1 month till BabsCon, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you all very much for coming out and watching and chatting with us today, and for all your support that allowed us to get to 150 streams. There's plenty more in the future. No plans to quit anytime soon.
Nope.
Until then, well, next time, I've been Cursor Chords,
I've been Hithroc.
and we'll see you in a couple weeks.
Bye.